Good morning, everyone. Today we'll start with the system blood. So, blood, the study of blood and its components is known as hematology. Okay, so hematology means study of blood and its component. Come to the what is blood. So, blood is a specialized tissue with liquid intercellular substances called plasma and formed elements means so blood is a liquid content mainly contain the plasma and RBC, WBC and platelets. So RBC, WBC and platelets are the cells, okay, blood cells, red blood cell, white blood cell and platelets. Coming to the physical properties of blood, the color is red opaque. Volume is 5 to 6 liters, means in our body there are 5 to 6 liters of blood is present. pH 7.4, specific gravity 1.052 to 1.062, and its viscosity is very higher. Okay, coming to the water, so water is less viscosity because the cells are not present. So in the blood, the cells and the organic and inorganic components are present. So the viscosity is 4 to 5 times of water, okay, more than the water. Next, from the functions of the blood, the main function is respiratory. Okay, respiratory means so you are taking oxygen in and you are exhale the carbon dioxide. So these process mainly taking place. So it is exchange of these gases, respiratory gases are taking place between blood and lungs. Okay, so mainly it transport the respiratory gases. This is a nutritive function. So the tissue, mainly the tissue, the exchange of nutrition to the tissue or the cells mainly through blood. Excretory function, so that is the through kidney the waste substances are excreted, so mainly by filtering the blood. Transport of hormones and enzymes, regulation of water balance, regulation of acid base balance, regulate the body temperature. Storage function, defensive function, regulate the BP, blood pressure and coagulation. So in the next coming classes you will come to know the functions of each. So next come the composition of the blood. So the blood mainly contain the blood cells, that is 45%. Okay, so 45% are the blood cells and remaining the 55% is a plasma. So plasma is a liquid portion of the blood, that is 55%, we call it the plasma, and formed elements called blood cells or 45%. See, blood cells are the red blood cells, those are erythrocytes, white blood cells, leukocyte and platelets, thrombocytes. Okay. So erythrocytes You can see here, so when you centrifuge, if you take the blood in the test tube and if you centrifuge, so above is the plasma, then there is a buffy coat will appear, that is which contain WBC cells, and below the RBC will settle down. So how it looks? So erythrocytes, they don't have nucleus, okay. So erythrocyte, they don't have nucleus. If you see this picture, this yellow one is the erythrocytes. Then these are the WBC cells, okay, white blood cells. So I will tell details about the WBC cells in the WBC class, okay. This is the content of plasma. So the plasma mainly contain water 91% and solids. The solids are inorganic and organic. Inorganic are sodium, calcium, potassium, chloride, etc. Then, so here important thing is the plasma protein, okay. The plasma mainly contain the plasma proteins, okay. Plasma proteins are important. The plasma proteins are serum albumin, globulin, fibrinogen and prothrombin, okay. So these are the important plasma proteins. So next on the serum. Serum is a fluid part of the blood after clotting. So once you keep the blood, so what will happen? The liquid, the blood is a liquid, so it will liquefy or it will run. The bleeding will take place. After some time, the bleeding will stop. Okay. So that time the clot will form. So there is a clotting mechanism is there. So in that, after clotting of the blood, there is some fluid will be oozes from the clotted blood. So that is called serum, okay. The serum equals plasma minus clotting factors and fibrinogen. Next, coming to the plasma proteins. Okay, so plasma protein, as I told, it is very important. So understood, in the blood mainly contain so blood mainly contain the liquid portion, we call it as plasma, and the cellular components called blood cells, okay, blood cells. So in the plasma, so mainly contain water, the liquid portion and organic and inorganic substances. So organic substances mainly called as a plasma proteins, okay, plasma proteins. Then the coming to the cells, blood cells, there are three types of blood cells: erythrocytes or RBC cells, WBC cells or white blood cells or leukocytes, and thrombocytes, okay, or platelets. Understood? So you have to study the function of plasma protein and the functions of each cell, okay. So as I told, so only the function is important. functions of plasma proteins. And name of the plasma protein is also important. So what are the plasma proteins? Albumin, globulin, thrombin and fibrinogen. So these are the names of plasma protein. Okay, so next coming to the functions of plasma protein. The first function mainly maintains the colloidal osmotic pressure of blood. Okay, mainly maintain the colloidal osmotic pressure. It has a role in acid base regulation, maintain the viscosity and the BP, blood pressure, essential for blood clotting. So that is very important. Okay, so fibrinogen, because of the presence of fibrinogen in the blood, so mainly helps for blood clotting, provide the stability to blood. Okay, so that is erythrocyte sedimentation rate, ESR. Role in defense mechanism of the body. It has a reservoir function, help to transport of certain substances in blood. Okay, the first one, maintain the colloidal osmotic pressure of the blood. So it is mainly produced by albumin. Okay, so mainly by albumin. Okay, mainly by albumin. Normal colloidal osmotic pressure is 25 to 30 mmHg. Okay, so mainly the albumin will maintain this pressure at the capillary end. Okay, so this maintenance of colloidal osmotic pressure is essential for to maintain the fluid volume in intravascular compartment and interstitial space. So you will be confused if I tell details. See, there is a blood vessels are there. Okay, so through that blood vessels, okay, so suppose this is your blood vessel, the blood will flow in these blood vessels. So these blood vessels will form many formation, like it will form a capillaries. Okay, when it is coming to the tissue or a cells, it will form a capillaries. Okay, now there is arterial end. This is called arterial end. This is venous end. Okay, this is arterial end and this is venous end. Now the blood is flow through the arterial end while flowing through the capillaries. This is capillaries, capillary bed. When the blood flow through these capillaries, there is a filtration is taking place. Okay, filtration is taking place from the blood, that is whatever the important nutritions, okay, so minerals or anything, so through the from the blood the filtration is taking place, so that nutrition is going to interstitial fluid or to the cells. While passing through this venous end, when it is going to the venous end, so from the cell, the absorption is taking place. The waste materials are absorbed in the at the venous end. So this filtration and absorption has to take place. Understood? To maintain the filtration and absorption, this osmotic pressure, okay, colloidal osmotic pressure of about 25 to 30 is important. Understood? So just remember, the albumin mainly maintain the colloidal osmotic pressure. Okay, so whatever I am explaining, that is what is colloidal osmotic pressure. Okay, so that is very important for filtration and absorption at the capillary bed, that much you remember. Okay, So this is mainly maintained by albumin. Okay, that is first function. Next, coming to role in acid base regulation. So the normal pH, the blood contain 7.4 plus or minus 0.04. That means 7.4 is not acidic, not basic. Okay, so it is a neutral pH. Because of this neutral pH, so that is very important for the enzymatic activity. So in this, the plasma protein, it has both amino and carboxyl terminals. Okay, amino and carboxyl terminals. So because of this amino and carboxyl terminals, that means it contains both acidic and basic proteins or amino acids. So if acidity increases, okay, it will either accept the hydrogen or can donate the hydrogen ion. So it has a dual function, okay, because of the presence of amino and carboxyl terminals. Okay, the second function is maintain the plasma protein, regulate the acid base balance in the body, because the plasma proteins having both amino and carboxyl terminals. So that much you write, it is enough. Okay.